Okay, let's get this going. Okay, this is going to be new for me. I've never done a live stream before. So, before we really get going on it, I'm going to go ahead and make some posts about it on Instagram and stuff. So I'm doing that on the other screen. All right. Post made on Instagram. I'll quickly share it to my story. It's so fun. Oh, you can't share from your story directly from the website, so I have to do it from my phone. Give me 1 second, we'll get going. That jump scared myself with my own video from today. Okay, posted there. I'm gonna share to, I'll share to Facebook, why not? There we go. And all right, Facebook and Instagram loaded up. I think we're good. Oh, tell you what, I'm gonna do Discord too. I'll do that probably on my phone, just so I don't accidentally. I never know what's going on my my friends on Discord, so you don't really want to see that stuff. Okay. All right, now that we got this here. All right, so this is a stream. So here's what I'm going to do here. This is a stream where I'm going to create a one-shot. The concept here is that there is a city, kind of Attack on Titan-y. It is all on its own, surrounded by walls. There's a few factions going on inside. The reason I'm making this one-shot is actually I am joining this Dungeon Masters program for a local game store. And we've been sort of constructing what that program's going to look like going forward, which is pretty neat. So I've been a part of that. And part of that process for making our first season is putting together a series of one-shots to get people going into the first season, like one after another, before going into like their actual DM for that season and then playing that out. So we're doing about a series of 4 one-shots to get the season started. I am doing one of them. And this concept was made by one of the DMs in the group. We all chose one, and I chose this one. It's called The Helverians Hear a Rumor. The party follows a rumor overheard to investigate a possible crack in the city's walls. So outside of the walls, there's this miasma that is supposed to mess with people. Oh, hey, Jess. Thank you for saying hi. I also appreciate you, Jess, because you made me realize how responding to comments works. So that's helpful. Hi, Jess. Okay, that's amazing. This is my first ever live stream, so this is going to be interesting to work out all the kinks. So, let's go ahead and read the prompt here, and then we'll go into how I would break this down. Thanks, Jess. So your group, a small sect of Helverians, have been meeting at the tavern outside of any illegal activities to celebrate a year of hard work within your ranks. So what that means, essentially, this isn't meant to be shown to anybody. There's some grammar mistakes, doesn't matter. The Helverians are like the people of the land. So if we pop over here to the draft of the lore document, We'll scroll down to just take a look at what the Helvarians are. The Helvarians are the For the People faction. They're named after the man who inspired the group, Halvar. It's a grassroots movement for the commoners who are frustrated with the king's lack of action regarding the dwindling resources. They're seeking ways to get food to the people, even if it means leaving the city's walls. They're kind of the middle ground faction between the legalized mages, because there's a sort of arcane distrust going on. And there's a subsect called the Free Arcanists that's actually the more like anti-government faction. And then there's the Silver Council that are loyalists to the king. So we're playing kind of the middle ground faction that doesn't necessarily align with the free magic folks, nor do they fully align with the king. So that's when you start the game, you kind of get a choice of different factions to choose from. That'll kind of help get your one-shot decision going for which one you end up doing. So going back over here, while celebrating, you overhear some town guards who whisper to one another about an apparent crack in the wall that surrounds the city and protects from the miasma outdoors. Intrigued by the rumor, your party decides to look around the city's edge to find this apparent crack. One edge of the city's wall seemingly leads to a sewer of some sort, but the crate cover has been mysteriously melted off. Your group decides to see if this could be a way outside of the city, only to find the guards trying to cover up the scene. They catch not only you, but a strange sludge-like woman melting out more of the city's bars. Now you must find a way to escape the guard's eye or stop this woman from breaking that barrier before the miasma can be found out, or found beyond. So there's a few things that immediately catch my eye here. So let's go ahead and bold the major things that I think are going to be most important. Obviously, this sort of seems kind of railroady in sort of like your party decides to do this, your party decides to do this. I'm going to try and minimize the railroadiness if I can. We'll see how I can do that. Obviously, with a one shot, you know that the DM has prepared something, so there's a level of you're going to go along with the railroadiness of it. But we'll still try and limit it if possible. But regardless, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So not only does the adventuring hook come from the town guards, they're also, it looks like, the villain. So escape the guards is one way here to succeed, or stop this woman from breaking the barrier. So if we look at the ways to find this out, you must find a way to escape the guards or stop this woman from breaking the barrier. I think I'm going to change this a little bit. Because it doesn't sound like these are mutually exclusive. It sounds like if this woman is trying to break the barrier, we want to know why. And then we want to either align with her, or we don't align with her. And if we're still at odds with the guards, then we're going to have to deal with them one way or another. So there's a few things that are in the story here I'm going to have to figure out. And so the issue here is that I think this is too light of an adventuring hook. Over here, a couple of town guards. So I like the apparent crack in the wall. That stays. So this stays. Apparent crack in the wall. Over here, a couple of town guards. That protects the mate from miasma. Apparent crack in the wall. So that needs to stay. I like that. Apparent crack in the wall that protects the city from the miasma outside. So the real thing here is the adventuring hook is either going to be you overhear a rumor or you get asked to do it. So we'll put a pin in this right now. And I'm going to go back to my main thing. Quest. So the premise is crack in the wall that protects the city. All right, the next thing we need to do after we found, like, now that we have the premise, we're going to have the culprit. And we'll have the mystery. A slime lady. A slime lady is responsible. The mystery is who put the crack in the wall. Slime Lady is responsible. So right now, if the people involved are just the guards and you are helping them stop whoever's putting the crack in the wall, you're not going to run afoul with the guards. So if the guards are the main enemy, that's going to be a thing to fix. Let's go back to the notes now that we kind of find out the premise, the mystery, the culprit. And I'm also going to put the twist because we need to find out like what the twist here is. The enemies / obstacles. The end. We'll say, yeah, the end, the reward. Okay. Let's see. So if we need the end, let's go to the end. Skip to the end right here. Stop this woman from breaking the barrier is the end. Breaking the wall. Expanding the crack. All right, so let's look up the identity of this slime woman. Now, during our actual meeting about sort of discussing this concept, there's a series of linked quests going on, and I tossed out that she should be called Lady Ophelia Viscoria, because I think that's really funny. So that is the actual major character that we have involved here. So now that we have her, that's pretty good. It looks like guards are going to be the main enemies. Now, here's the issue with making guards the main enemy. It really puts you at odds with the city at large. Each of the different cities, or each of the different factions, have some level of support for the current status quo. I think the ones that are most against it are the Free Arcanists and the middling so the Halvarians. The Silver Council is mostly a fan of the king. So if you were, for instance, a member of the Silver Council and wanting to do this, then you'd have a problem. But I think the idea behind this one shot is that you have aligned with the Halvarians. So ideally, somebody who's a loyalist won't be doing this quest. But I'll try and find a way to make it so that you could, potentially. And maybe the way to do that is to give you two options. Either fighting Lady Ophelia Viscoria or fighting the guards. And I think this is going to be a level 3 mission. Level 3 quest. I'll go ahead and check that. I'm going to open up my Discord for a second. And we'll go ahead and double check that it is a... Because a few other people have completed their quests, or their one-shots. So I'm going to open up a friend of mine. Yep, level 3 adventure. Okay. So she's done a great job doing that. Let's go ahead and come back to ours. Okay. Let's think for a second. Expanding the crack that she's already made. Okay, so the enemies and obstacles. I think either a slime woman or the guards. So I think the inciting incident. Inciting incident needs to be something that either you hear the rumor that somebody's put a crack in the walls, or it's a quest. Like either you're hired by the guards to check this out. If you're Silver Council, I can make this faction dependent. Faction. We'll start with there, and then we'll change it if we don't like it. If you are then Silver Council. If you're Silver Council, the guards hire you. Guard captain or minor lord. Doesn't have to be minor. Could be a regular one. Faction. All right. Arcanist librarians. All right. So, if you're part of the Arcanist Librarian Society and you get this quest, I'm going to double check something. Yeah, so all of these are actually different factions. So maybe I don't need to worry too much about what the other factions are going to need. We're going to keep those there, but for now I'll go ahead and strike through them. But actually it's okay to think about this because we could always repurpose this at a later date so that people of other factions can actually use this. Is it a good idea to go ahead and bring Halvar into this? Like, he's a man of the people, so it's not like he should be high and mighty above you on this. Or maybe one of Halvar's lieutenants. Let's go ahead and up fantasy name generator. I have a Celtic Gaul names up because of the campaign I'm running is set in that area. Let's see, what's some good... Europe, what's a fun... We'll just go stupid British. It's fine. Maybe there's some just regular fantasy names. Maybe our homie is a half orc. I've just read Legends and Latte, so we're going to steal Val. Do we want to give her a cool last name? Maybe she's got... No, not that. How about Val Desrex ain't too bad. So Val Desrex. I can never spell lieutenant for the life of me. So I'm going to say that Val's contacts So I think while she's not totally against bringing the wall down, it would be better Halvarians, if they were in the loop. Specific quest asks. So if the main goal is find out who put the crack in the wall, easy enough. You find the slime lady you bounce. You don't technically have to fight her. I think bonus reward. Defeat the thing or person. So they can win just by getting the information, and the bonus reward would be to defeat the thing or person. Cool. So the mystery is who put the crack in the wall. We find out that the cult slime lady is responsible, and the twist. Now we need to find out a little bit more about the lore, specifically why the guards would have known about this. Maybe they've just been patrolling and they found a crack. But there has to be something going on here. So let's go back to our original notes here. Nothing here. So let's go back. Let's go ahead and read through this one. I think Sarah did this one. And we can find out a little bit more about what they did. So this one's for when you are actually a member of the King's Silver Council, or at least one of their recruits. Also has something to do with an ooze. An investigation leads to a tower where there's a strange glowing ooze burrowing in the wall. The party defeats it. All right. Looking good. Just quickly get the mission. Little scene here. Let's go ahead and read this scene. Council Member 1, as explained in your letters summoning you here today, you have been selected to endeavor a task on behalf of our king. Upon completion, you may consider your request to join the ranks of the Silver Shields officially approved. There is a strange slime that has made its way into the Tower of the Silver Council. Your task is to find and remove the slime by any means necessary. While it was last seen in the third-floor window, we are unsure of the current location of the slime. We've reinforced all entrances to ensure that it can't escape the tower proper. Explore as needed, though heed our warnings. Do not trespass where you are not welcome. You will find no clues nor slime where doors are not open. All where none but silver tread, no evil can be led. Silver reflections light your path. So a little bit of lore and vibes there. I like it. All right. So they get led upstairs to the Silver Council, where you're going to actually find, I assume, the dungeon. This is extensive. Good work. Incredible. Nice work. Okay, so ideally starting here, and you got the whole dungeon. Wow, this is excellent work. Absolutely wonderful. All right, I like that. So if we go ahead and skip kind of to the end here, possible outcomes. If the players defeat the slime and leave no trace of meddling where they shouldn't, they will automatically be accepted into the Silver Shields. If the players defeat the slime and either the gems on the door or any of the ladder mechanisms are broken, the council will thank them for their assistance but bar them from entry to the Silver Shields. If you can work on your sense of honor and delicacy with your approach to your work, there may be a chance to appeal in the future. If the players do not defeat the slime, the council is disappointed and encourages them to practice their skills and return some other time. Then make quick work of the slime and return to their work in the tower. So the question is, if they could do that, why not just do it and leave it to the party? Unless they're just really looking for recruits. There's probably a secret up in this that I haven't read through yet. I like this. Ogre jelly, disappointing the adventure. Cool. Tells me a little bit of what I need to know, at the very least. Maybe it's like an exterminator kind of situation where, yeah, you could kill the rat, but you just don't want to because gross. I'm going to say that that's probably what's going on there. Okay. Reward, then, is joining the Copper Guard as a recruit. Because Helvarians is more like a political organization. You can just say you're Helvarian. I think joining the Copper Guard is going to be like the actual thing. Okay, now that we've got that, the twist. Lady is Lady Ophelia Viscoria. She is actually so she's actually a member of the Silver Council. Has grown with them. Okay, so she's gone disillusioned with them, but she was originally a member. What would set her off that makes her take this into her own hands? There's some secret that she knows. I could give some options here. If I don't want to like completely direct the DM's storytelling. Let's go ahead and throw it. I like to at least give people to work with. They can say no to it. I don't need to tell them to say no to it or not. I'll give them some options, and if they don't like it, they can throw it out. Okay. All right. Let's see. She could be somebody who does experiments and on the miasma in that. Yeah, I like that. She is an alchemist. One of her experiments. A slime lady. She's an alchemist who's been conducting experiments on the miasma. One of her experiments went awry and caused her to become a slime lady. I like that. If that's the case, then I think that our enemies can be like also tinier slimes. Let's go ahead and grab the monster manual. And maybe Volos. I don't think we'll need Mordenkainen's because I don't imagine they're going to encounter something of that magnitude. All right. Let's go ahead and it's been a while since I've looked at the physical monster manual, honestly. I have an app on my phone that kind of sorts things through. But hopefully they sort these well. Let's go. Incredibly unhelpful sorting. It's just all alphabetical. I remember why I don't like this. All right, we're going to abandon that and go to my app, which sorts things by creature types. So I've mentioned that I use an app for my DMing before, and I've kind of hesitated to like explain it, but essentially it's just Game Master 5. And the reason that it's kind of hard to talk about is because you got to actually go online to find compendiums to download through Dropbox and install them into the app, so you can't do it in app at all, so it's a pain in the ass. So I don't suggest it to people because it's a lot of work to actually make that happen. So that's why I typically don't. So let's go ahead and go to this, and oozes are they aberrations or are they just oozes? Let's see. I'm gonna find the what's the famous ooze? Oozes is 240. Okay, well if all the oozes are on page 240, maybe that'll be helpful. Maybe we're in luck. Okay, we got some oozes. We've got black pudding, gelatinous cube, gray ooze, ochre jelly. Now I want something that is like weak, easy to be destroyed. Gray ooze isn't too bad, though it's not like iconic enough, I feel like. I want like classic Dragon Quest little slime jellies. But I'm also worried that homebrewing something is not the greatest idea for something I'm handing off, unless I create a stat block and put it in here, which I could do. I could do that because I'm gonna have to probably do that for Lady Ophelia anyway if they're going to attack her. I like the idea. The ogre jelly is there. Is I think Sarah's big monster, so we're not taking that. Against a party of level 3s, I'm going to go ahead and open up encounter, balance 5e. Why does it do that? Right. Well, Cobalt Fight Club is normally pretty good, but this is fine. Just want a general idea. So I'm just going to see if she was doing 1 at level 2. That's an easy encounter. Okay, they can handle that easy. Let's say it's 4. Still easy. Okay. So, obviously the amount of creatures is going to matter a lot. I could just say Grey Ooze. Let's see. Armor class 8, easy to hit. Hits with a pseudopod for 4 damage typically. Ooh, plus 7 acid is pretty tough. But they are level 3, so they can handle that. If they're wearing non-magical metal armor, it's permanently corroded. Oof. That's rough. Amorphous corrodes metal, that makes sense why I should be using that because it could corrode through the wall. False appearance, it could be actually Grey Ooze might be the play. All right, let's do 2 Grey Oozes. So 2 Grey Oozes at 0.5, and then if we add 1 at level 2, now we're in a hard encounter. I like that. Okay, so she's going to have get to her. There's going to be, or in her like boss room, she's gonna have 2 Grey Oozes. And that. What happens if there's 5 characters though? So that's kind of. Okay. And if there's 4. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That'll be the actual like end boss room, but you may end up not fighting her. So I don't need this any longer because we have this here. Major, and I'll just say all encounters. Counters. Lady Ophelia. Biscoria. Plus 2 Grey Oozes that are hiding. So the 2 Grey Oozes are going to be hiding. They've pretty shit stealth, but it's still like a +2, so it's not going to be horrible. But we'll just have them start in stealth, and if anybody can spot them with their passive, then they can. So yeah, we'll do that. I like that. I think that's fine. And then another encounter. It's kind of like a branching path a little bit, I guess. Guards. Actually, let's go ahead. If we're going to be Halvarians here, we don't need to worry about this. We're going to be anti-guards here. We're anti the man. So we can fight some guards. Let's drain. I want to drain some resources here. I think it would be pretty funny if you encounter the guards as they're dealing with a gelatinous cube. So let's say 4 guards. 1 gelatinous cube. One of the guards is inside the gelatinous cube already. I think that's amazing. 1, 2, no. Let's go ahead and make that. Okay. So yeah, 4 guards is a bit for just a draining resources encounter, but I think with 1 in the gelatinous cube, they are not aligned. Some of the damage could go into the cube and into the guards. I think that chaos could get played off in a really fun way. So I'm okay with that. I want to drain a little bit more resources though. So I want to do some traps in here as well. How do we want to do this? What else could be? What else could be in here? Myconids is fun. But that's like a whole structure, and if a whole like society is down there, that's maybe more story than I want to hit in this section. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and check out sort by challenge rating. What's another fun one? Cranium rats. Don't need that because then without and invites a whole other thing. Scroll down a little bit. Cultists is fun, but we already have guards and they're kind of handling that section. Don't like any of that. I want creatures, I think. Bullywugs is fun. It'd be funny to think about bullywugs, but we're kind of dealing... Maybe bullywugs. Just like in the swamp or swampy like thing. It'd be funny to think that bullywugs are living below. Let's see. Giant bats, giant centipedes. I mean, giant frog. I love a giant frog. Giant frog living in the sewer is great. Especially because you can just eat them, and it's so fun. I'm gonna do 2 giant frogs. Because then they can eat him. Is that too hard? For level 3 folks, I don't think that's too hard. In fact, I want to maybe throw out some trash alongside that. You might be noticing I'm like a bastard DM. I love to throw a lot at folks before they get to my end points. I like that. No, don't like that. Well, I think I want some sort of creature that would work. Like a swarm of rats, maybe. I'm not sure. Like a single rat's too weak for a level 3 party. Like a swarm, maybe. If rats could do it. I don't think a giant rat and a giant toad would be working together. Otherwise, I'd put them together. Potentially. Maybe the 2 giant frogs are not the centerpiece. And they work as sort of addendum to the centerpiece monster. A choker. A choker might be too strong, but let me remember what that looks like. Okay, these aren't too bad. I like that. So looking at their stuff, I was thinking the one that's kind of like a tentacle or the one that's like a stalagmite hanging from the ceiling that's got all the tentacles. I'd be like, that's too tough for a level 3 party. So their big deal. Ooh, they've got the ability to take an extra action on their turn. That's pretty good. It's almost too good. I don't know. It's like a grappler. Makes some extra attacks. It's pretty strong. I do like it, but maybe it is too much to have a DM think about like the swallowing plus the choking. So maybe something that's just a little bit more like kind of just a big boy. No, ice toad. 2 giant frogs and an ice toad. I don't hate that. Why not? I'll put that in there for now as like an option. 2 giant frogs and an ice toad. I like that. Let's see. Anything else be interesting? I kind of like that. All right. So the ice toads. The main thing with the ice toad here is that it's kind of an aura attack. And it's not doesn't do the swallow, so it's more just there to be the big thing in the middle of the room while the giant frogs are trying to swallow and get people out. And they'll probably be like, this will be in the sewer, so probably difficult movement for everybody to get around. These are some pretty strong encounters, and because it's a one shot with like trying to finish, there maybe only needs to be one more because not all of these will get procced likely. Probably to do with trap. I'm thinking, I don't want anything with like a personality because I don't want it to distract from the story. Because we've got two things that have a personality here. I could literally just go skeletons. Like you find some skeletons down here. I'm worried that it gets too in the way of the story if I do something like undead down here. I think maybe the encounter is a trap or an animated armor. Animated armor and two flying swords is always fun. Animated armor and two flying swords. All right, we'll leave that there, and that could have some loot. And it's like an optional room. Optional loot room. And I do love the choking carpet trap. Okay, so that's pretty solid. And again, the twist. Slime Lady. So going back to the twist, the Slime Lady is Lady Ophelia Viscoria. She's actually a member of the Silver Council, but has grown disillusioned with them over time. She's an alchemist who's been conducting experiments on miasma. One of her experiments went awry and caused her to become a Slime Lady. This had the side effect of revealing to her a major aspect of the miasma, in that instead of it choking out life, like is said, created new life within her. She wants to let nature its course all within the walls. All right, so this means that like Viscorius, like while she isn't completely wrong, she's still kind of crazy, and that she wants to turn everybody into, let the miasma in and kind of turn everybody into arcane creatures of some kind like she is. So that is kind of her deal. Which means that like you might not want to fight the guards unless the guards were ordered to hunt Lady down and make sure one discovers that she was working on. Okay, I think we've got something here. As recruit, plus money. We're gonna get the reward to also be money. Okay, I'm liking this a lot. So, we've got the mystery, the story, the culprit. We've got some encounters that we want. I want maybe one more trap. What's another good trap? In the sewer, a trap could be something falling. Maybe like there is a hole or a grate that you don't know and you fall through it. A pit trap is always good. So we got a choking carpet trap in the treasure room. There's going to be a trap with the gelatinous cube, kind of. You're going to see that coming. The great oozes are a trap in their own way. Is there going to be a tripwire? Like maybe it's a trap that alerts somebody going forward. Maybe there's like a swarm of like those mosquito creatures ahead of the giant frogs. that they don't. Maybe they don't mess with you very much. I'm gonna write that down because I don't hate that. As like they're trying to run away from you because they're trying to get away from the giant frogs. Swarm of wasps. Maybe not swarm of wasps. I'll just say swarm of insects, right? Maybe there's a nest. Maybe like you can mess up by hitting a nest. Okay, I like that. Let the trap be your own reward for being greedy. Is a potion, an alcove, surrounded by wasps. Okay, so now the frogs and toads are like, ooh, wasps. I'm gonna go eat that. It sounds delicious. So you can get the potion slash item. Could be a good item. I like that. Okay, cool. I think we have it down. So now that we have this down, let's go ahead and construct the dungeon. You're gonna use Dungeon Draft here, which is my one of choice for creating this sort of thing. Okay, I like this. Do a quick generator. I don't mind that, just to get us going, because I have a pretty good idea of what I'm thinking. Stone. All right. Yeah, we can fix this. Okay. We want more, maybe less density, because it's more. Oop. Where's the generator? Ah. Goof. Discard. Yeah, because I want something that's a little bit less dense. There we go. That's more what I'm thinking. We can use that as a base. To get going here. This should be Lady Viscoria. Some treasure rooms here. Oh, I like this. Okay, we're cooking now. We are cooking. I'm gonna finish with that. I like it. I can get some object. Stair. In fact, I want to maybe put some water out here first. Ooh, I like that. Okay. All right, I like that as like the general idea of the sewer. All right, so now you got that. The entrance is more of like you drop down a grate, so maybe ladder. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's go for, you get down here, what's going to be your first encounter? It seems like the guards would be the first one, and that would be pretty fun. So probably not tell you, because you could completely skip them if you went here. Okay, I like the idea of, I mean, we know where Lady Viscoria is, so we're gonna put that there, put her there. We could make it so you can't skip the guards, which I don't really want you to. I feel like that one shouldn't be optional. I want the wasps and frogs to be optional. I want the animated sword, armor, and flying swords to be optional. So I feel like that and that seem the right places for those. And then this could be the guards, and then this could be Lady Ophelia. If I want that, I could just put that here. We'll put something else here as options. Maybe I move this all back a touch. I don't mind the guards being here, but I feel like there should be like some kind of thing that happens to you in this area. Or I just don't make this a thing you can do. I could remove this. Unless I made it like an optional way to get around, like maybe that you can clear something. Okay. Well, I at least know that this is the lady. We can say these are the guards. And if you just did this, you just do guards and lady, and then this could be the toads. This could be these could be the toads. These could be the. I mean, this is the animated armor. These are the toads and the wasps. I don't hate that actually. But do I want to make it so you can skip the toads? I could delete this and make it so you can't skip the toads. Interesting. I could make it like so that you can choose to skip the toads if you want. I like the idea that you can't skip the toads, honestly, but the toads also feel good as a punishment for taking the treasure. Let's go back to the... The toads are down here. Then I delete this. Yeah, I could delete that. Leave the toads here. Delete that as a way. Put the wasps here so you can't miss the wasps. You can go that way for the animated armor. I like that. Okay, now how do I erase? I always forget how to do that. Let's go and save this right now. Okay. But how do I erase again? No. Not that. Oh. apologize that this is not going good for me. Okay. I just gotta remember how to delete it. Okay. You could just do that and say there's a grate that you can't get through. And then make it so if only you're super clever you can get through it. Maybe it's like small, so like you could either, like a druid could maybe break through it or do something like that. I don't hate that. Then you can have the option of skipping a fight and feel like you did something. All right, I'm cool with that. Cool. I think now that we have this, I'm okay with that. Okay. Maybe I'll copy how Sarah did it. They do it like 1A or T1 for tower. Makes sense. So I'll do S1 for sewer. Can I just copy that? No. Oh well. So yeah, it's 5 here. S4. S7. Okay. Move these to the proper spots. Nice and visible. Putting that there so that people can like see that that's supposed to be like on that grid. There you go. Put that there so you know that you're getting away with something. Okay. Now that we got that, I'm pretty happy with all that. This is going to be... Sorry, I'm just saving the map over here. want to make sure I'm saving it in the right place. I am. All right. Don't need you. Keep you around for a bit. We have our map, and let's go ahead and bring it into this. I like it. Put this down. Okay. S1. Description. It's the time I deploy ChatGPT for this sort of thing. Ba-ba-da-ba. Water drips steadily from above, creating a puddle near the entrance. The sound of distant echoing footsteps, occasional rat squeak can be heard. I love it. Let's take a little bit of that. Ba-da-ba-da. The air becomes pungent. I like that. I like to have a little bit of the smell. That's fun. Description. Water drips steadily from above, creating a puddle near the puddle that we'll say the puddle that joins the flow of putrid water deeper the sewer. The sound of distant echoing footsteps and the occasional rat squeak can be heard emanating from the darkness. Beyond, faint greenish glow seems to. Don't need that. We'll say. Sewer. Actually, let's do the smell beforehand. Between the gaps in the half melted grate. I like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do put those that. Okay. And here. Ahead of you are two. What's the name for like a sewer? Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't see that people were texting. Or putting stuff in the chat. Hey, Sarah. Sarah, that was Dungeon Draft, which I use for a lot of my dungeons. It's a one-time payment, really nice, which I like. ChatGPT is very helpful, yeah, Taylor, for the sort of writing that gets in the way of you creating stuff is the exact sort of thing to use ChatGPT for. You don't need me to come up with a unique way to describe a sewer for a D&D game. When you're doing like maybe like a novel writing, I wouldn't do that. But for the description of a sewer in a Dungeons and Dragons one shot, ChatGPT, very helpful, that sort of thing. So ahead of you are two paths. Paths isn't right. What's the name for like a sewer? A sewer path. Gracious me. I'm not really sure. Sewer tunnel. What am I don't need to ask ChatGPT. It's a sewer tunnel. Yeah, they're cutting. East. Okay, so that we got that. Moving to the S2. I'll try to keep my eye more on the chat going forward because I didn't even see if people were watching, so appreciate you. I'll put this in the chat in case you missed that, Sarah. All right. So the second one is going to be this is where the wasp nest is. So let's go ahead and say was divergent tunnels meet. The sewer widens that the divergent tunnels meet. Continue. 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 Let's do continue. Paths to east. Okay, so this. Let's say in the north end of the wall. I kind of want to have them here for that. Between the two paths east. Crack in the wall. Inside that. Still let's see what's a good magical item here. Let's see, what are oozes weak to? Maybe it's something that like could help you finish off the adventure. Something you could use immediately. The problem is D&D doesn't do a lot of weaknesses. Like I would imagine that like lightning would be good, but it's bad. There's no thing that like is super good. Like it's mostly resistances. Very rarely do you have like vulnerabilities that are chosen by this. All right. Let's see. Let's do magic item generator. I could have people rule, but let's go with something that's not. Spell scroll could be fun. Potion of greater healing is useful. That's kind of a bitch move to like give them a potion of greater healing and then take a lot of their resources away. So I kind of want it to be something that's worth it. Let's see. I mean, I can roll. I could roll. Why not? Let's do it. You're live here, so you can tell. I'm gonna roll on magic item table B. And this is legit. Alright. So this is the die that is going to be the tens column. This will be the ones column. 95. 95 is a ring of swimming. Interesting. I mean, that is something. So if we look up ring of swimming, I feel like that's underwhelming. It's a bit underwhelming to get that. But if we like look at other rings, what's another fun ring? I could do a +1 ring of resistance or something like that. Why not? They're gonna have to fight over that. It's pretty good. If I were to have rolled here, it would have been a Horseshoes of Zephyr. That's a lot. About here. Folding boat's too much. When do you find like a weapon level +1? Could do like a +1 shield. I don't hate that idea of it just being a +1 shield. Kind of sucks if no one's using it, but it could be anything with like that being a weapon. Could be some kind of bracers. Gloves and missile snaring. I like the idea of it being a +1 shield, actually. They're gonna need to get something relatively soon. Or it could be a potion, something they could use. Like a really good healing potion. Like Potion of Supreme Healing is pretty solid. That's maybe too much. That's a little much for their level. Potion of Superior. Potion of Greater Healing. No, I don't want the Baldur's Gate one. 2d4 plus 2. Come on. 44 plus 4. That's averaging. Yeah, 44 plus 4. Averaging about 12 hit points. It's a little low for like what's supposed to be a pretty good thing here. Do I want something that they will use right away? I'm of two minds. Let's go with it. +1 shield. Let somebody have something really cool. Now let's have ChatGPT. No. That's too much. Don't worry. I'm not gonna worry about that. has a... Do I want it to be like a hive-based symbol? Or do I want it to be like a sting? Okay, so it's got a cool +1 shield. They can name it something. There we go. This gives them, this gives some people honeycomb shield. That's great. Oh, Tulin, I grant you inspiration. Actually, I'm gonna change that right now. God, that's so good. Okay, that's so good. Thank you for stopping by and saving me, because now I want. That's so good. Now that the shield is like the honeycomb. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I'm inspired now. Though I'm absolutely set on that. Okay, I love it. Kind of buzzing room. Now, S3, which is that's a connected room to this one. That's so good. Honeycomb. As like the inlay on the shield is amazing. That's amazing. I'm so stoked. That you just made that so much better. Okay, so this one is the one that holds the frogs and the ice toad. They're probably going to get pulled out into S2 before they are in S3, but I will describe S3 anyway. We'll say this. Passable, great. Let's see. Now, more at lured. Warts and gristle. Now, Jess, my wife, would get mad at me that I used warts and gristle to describe giant frogs, seeing as frogs don't have warts. But I'm not sure Jess is in the chat right now, so she's not here to yell at me. So I'll get away with it. We'll do Toad Room. Frog and Toad Room. Must be full. All right. Giant frogs. And the... Is it giant frost toad or just a frost toad? Ice toad. Okay. All right, so that it takes care of that. Nothing else useful in this one. You just get punished for getting the cool shield. Now we'll do S5. Yeah. Now S5 has the Abandoned Armory. Armory. Empty racks. It's lined with empty racks. Empty weapon racks. Okay. Thank you, Jess. I'm incredible at typing. I have to think. I keep thinking about if I want, like, why there would be an armory in the sewer. And the reason I think that would be is likely for surreptitious reasons. So let's lock that behind a history check. I am Mavis Beacon teaches typing build, you're right. DC 15. What's the secret police silver kite? We'll make that up. They come here in plain clothes, gear up, stash evidence, and being the wiser. This information was found out. And these. All right. Strangely, it looks that has so there. Let's see. Oh dang! Tulin coming in with another one with a 20+ investigation check. They find Toadskin armor, a +1 that gives advantage on grapple escapes. That's incredible. I think if this was my game, Tulin, like I was running this for specifically me, I would absolutely put that in. Let me go ahead and see how Sarah, who this is another one of the DMs, made hers, and see how liberal she was with magic items, because I don't want to screw the balance up for everyone else. But I don't mind like giving people some items. Interesting. She's puzzle. She's based in puzzle build. Let's see. So in hers, she put, oh, this is worth 100,000 gold pieces, but I don't think this is the kind of thing that you could get away with, at least not without being very clever. So if she's putting in stuff worth that much money, though, you're gonna piss people off if you start taking this sort of stuff, which is probably why she's being liberal with how much money she is putting in, just throwing around in terms of the value. Yeah, Toadskin armor is cool. I feel like that would be more of a crafting item, though. You know, like take the Toadskin and bring it back to give crafting, and I think that is something I would do if I was running the whole campaign. So but I don't hate the idea of giving something to somebody else. I just don't also want the idea of like, oh, somebody who got the shield is also going to get this +1 armor. If they're really loading up a tank, I'd really screw up the balance for everybody but who's getting that stuff. So hopefully they'd spread it out. Nah, I'm gonna give that a miss for now, but I do love it because I'd like that as like a crafting idea potentially. So what I'll say, let's see, I think there's a city demographic that has something like that. I'm gonna copy what you said. Let's do it. Toadskin. I like it. Honestly, let's put it in. We'll just say because it is I like grapple escapes because that kind of balances it really well. It also makes you really good at fighting toads. And we'll make it specifically leather armor. That way it's not too broken. I like that. Okay. That way it's not like I'm just giving them something that is kind of broken, but I can potentially like let them try and talk with them later if their other DM allows it. If they are bringing this to somebody. Okay. And so if you succeed on this DC history check, I can also give you the information that the Silver Council Okay, so that way if you get the history check, DC 15, you get to know that this is absolutely a trap and you're going to get wrecked. Cool. So, holds armor. Flying. 2 flying swords. And what's that carpet of choking? Trying to remember what that one was. Rug of Smothering. Rug of Smothering's pretty strong, actually. Stronger than I maybe want it to be. What if it's just a Rug of Smothering and instead of the animated armor? So we're talking like 4. So animated armor is pretty strong. Do I want to... Rug of Smothering, animated armor, and 2 flying swords? I would definitely want the Rug of Smothering, not staying in, but I can limit it to the amount of folks they have or something. Okay, so let's see. Rug of Smothering is challenge rating 2, which is tough. They don't have to do this either. Animated armor is challenge rating 1. So let's go to the Cobalt Fight Club and assume that the worst, that they've just got 4. So this is 2, 1, 1, rating 1. Then we're going to add rating 2, and then this is going to be swords. Flying sword. This is 0.4, 0.25. 1,300. It doesn't seem too crazy that they could handle it. The problem is that that rug is going to probably get the jump on them. Let's just make it 1 flying sword. Okay. Jess, it's a cursed sword. It's a cursed sword. Hi, Riley. Um, it's how much? $20? $20 regular flying sword. Okay, so that does that. Next, $200. Ah, that's so much. $300. Wasting my time, kid. And great. Okay. And give them a better view of the... There is just a world where they just walk through and straight into here, but I mean, that's their prerogative. It's their money. If they want to just... if they just want to cut through the dungeon, they just get the 2 major encounters, and they can enjoy that. Riley, I don't always try to guess solutions before, but this is a product for other DMs, so I'm trying to guess like what might happen, and give them something to work with. Because if they want to make something up on the fly, they don't need my permission to do that. They can just do it. So I'll give them like, say, okay, there's some buzzing. You could just ignore it and walk through, but a party might investigate the buzzing. So if they do, here's what would happen. The solutions for these ones are either just ignore it or investigate. And because it's a one-shot, that's good because we need them to finish this content in the single day that they have it. So if they need to, if they spend a lot of time role playing, they could ignore like rooms S5, S3. They could walk straight through S2, go straight into S6 and S7 and finish the one shot right there. And the DM could nudge them in that direction at all. And yes, Riley, I mean, my actual like prep is normally like, here's a sexy goblin. What do you do about that? Real sexy goblin. No, I mean, I often do have some ideas about what people might try to do and plan slightly around that. But the real thing, I think, any seduce the goblin is the choice. I think the real thing any DM would, you do seduce the goblin. You didn't need a 20 for that. You actually only needed like a 2. Yes. This female gremlin is so hot. I don't want anyone to come at me at that. But yeah, I think most DMs would tell you that plan problems, not solutions. But I think when you're coming up with a trap, you normally want the trigger to be a guess of what somebody might do going forward. So that's sort of where you do want to predict. So this is pretty trap heavy. Joe, you are a sexy goblin. But yeah, because this is a piece of content I'm making for other people to run, I'm sort of setting it up as trigger and result. So like, there's a thing that happens, or the thing they can investigate or get greedy and interact with, and if they do, they get this. If they don't, they get this. Now this one, the Abandoned Armory, I think it makes sense for there not to be a reward here. Unless I want some sort of gem to be inside the armor to just give them something for having done this. Let's see. I can go back to the like inside the armor could be something like a spell scroll that kept it going, kind of like Edward Elric. I don't hate that. What's the animate object spell? Animate object 5e. Yeah, I like that. Let's put treasure. Okay, so boom, got that. And let's go ahead and bolt all of my flying sword and rug of smothering. I like it. Just gonna bold all the stuff that actually I would want a DM to look at. You were just skimming this. Mimic Chest is good. I like that, but I feel like Mimic Chest is good. Oh, damn it, Riley, Mimic Chest is good. But I feel like we have that covered with the wasp nest. Yeah, I do want to do a Mimic Chest, but I think we'll save that one for later. Because I love a Mimic. Absolutely love a Mimic. This might be. That's a good idea, Riley, to hyperlink the pages for the enemies. That's really smart. Maybe what I'll do for that is do that at the top so that people can do that. I love that so much. Giant frog. Oh, I wonder, nice toad, if all of the monsters I'm calling for actually have codes here. Well, this one does. So we don't need any of these anymore. It's a really smart idea. Yeah, I could see somebody running this from the laptop, so having this here for them is probably actually pretty smart. Riley, you also get a point of inspiration. Okay. You succeeded seducing the goblin, but if you want another roll, if you want another chance at it, go ahead and give me that roll for seducing the goblin while I use the restroom. When I come back, we'll see if you do it. Ugh. Holy guacamole. Oh, Riley, did you really roll and get a crit fail? This is so sad. As long as it was mutual. Let me double check that. Oh, animate object is way too strong. Whoops. Way too strong. Way too strong. What's another good spell? Another good transmutation spell. Why did none of you guys warn me that animate object was a 5th level spell? What a bunch of jerks. Polymorph. Yeah, that'll do it. I want to sort by... I have this 5e spell up. I want to sort by school. Here we go. I want to sort by transmutation. All right, here we go. Let's go to level 1 at least. Maybe 2? Oh, heat metal would be fun. I like heat metal. Let's do heat metal. I feel like that's a really useful. I just need animated armor. It can be used against the guards. I do know what you mean. So like if heat metal, that is an issue actually, because Riley brings up a great point. So if we're giving them a scroll of heat metal that we're expecting them to use, is it going to be something that you can use? Oh, Riley, good point. How about control water? It's a 4th level spell, but this whole place is water. Yeah, we're going to do it. You're so smart. It's a really strong spell, but that's kind of what I think you'd want from a spell scroll. That's like a one use kind of thing. Yeah, you could use spell scroll to control water. I'll like just look at this. It's like all water in here. Now it'd be interesting because I wonder how oozes would truly be affected by this, but like it's still going to be risky to even try to cast this because even a wizard would have a tough time actually pulling it off. But if you do, what a fun way to end the one shot. Yeah, I love that. No reason not to put that in there. Cool. Swarm of wasps. We need that. Love a swarm of wasps. Okay. Don't need a link for shield +1. All right. Okay, so now that we got that, we got the great. Now we're doing S6 and S7. Last rooms of the dungeon. The guards and the cube. So, the tunnel's open to the widest room you've seen yet in these infested halls, but that's not what draws your attention. Instead, you see floating shown cursor. Actually, if and when they see you, okay, so but that's not what draws your attention. Instead, you see an armored guard floating in midair as three of his companions shout and curse around him, trying to find a way to free him from whatever has him held here. If and when they see you, one mutters, "No witnesses," and they attack. Okay, so now that we've got this, we're going to go ahead and do the description here. This room, 4 guards and a gelatinous cube. Guards and a gelatinous cube. It hurts to die to the cube. I think that's fine. And then finally, S7. Lady Ophelia Viscoria, the slime lady. All right. Okay, so as you step past the chaos of the previous room and into this one, you can now see what the guards were so furiously trying to get to. A hooded figure stands hunched over a crack in the far wall. In fact, this must be the wall crack you were sent here to investigate. If the hooded figure notices you, she turns. Let's actually make that a. Hooded figure turns to see you, and her hood falls back. How would you guys describe a middle-aged noble lady? Regal, not quite regal looking. She's slimy. Let's go ahead and pick up. This is kind of the vibe I had for her. Kind of like that. Like this. Slimy is a good one, Jess. Slime lady. Let's see. It's a good question. Oh, I don't know exactly how I would describe her. Let's say debonair. We'll start there. Move on. But her skin undulates. Just like a slime. Undulates and shimmers in the light. Alright, now role playing Lady Ophelia Scoria. Regal works, I guess. Regal-looking middle-aged woman, the bearing of nobility. His skin undulates and shimmers. Let's see. So, Lady Ophelia is a woman of science and discovery first and foremost. Even above her duties as a woman of the court, she discovered what she believes is the true nature of the miasma in her studies. It grants new forms of life instead of simply choking it out like the king would have everyone believe. her. Turned. What the party? Okay. So I think if you manage to figure out that she's kind of like a science person and you appeal to her scientific nature, it'll be a DC 14 check. But if you don't, it'll be DC 20. Make it DC 21. Make it a little extra hard. So you can't get it if you have no points in persuasion. Okay. I like that. So now we just need to give her a stat block. And so we'll do a stat block generator. We'll start with an ochre jelly as the background of her, and then we'll mess with that. But we'll tone her down, I think, a little. So we've got this. I don't hate her being made as like an ochre jelly. But I don't want her to have this split, I don't think. Yeah, I think we'll take out split. And we'll replace that with another ability. That's a good one, though. If anyone else has ideas for what a good ability for Lady Viscoria might be, that would be sick. Something comparable to the split ability, but not that. The split ability, of course, is when you make her medium-sized. When you're hit with slashing or lightning damage, you can become 2 new jellies. And I don't want her to have that because I don't want her to split. But I can give her. I want to give her something else that keeps her around that challenge rating. That's not a bad idea. Let's see. Let's take a look at the map. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like an ooze slow. Sticky terrain. We'll make it a... Call this one Stuck In. We'll make it dexterity saving throw. 14 dexterity throw. Okay, so they can get restrained then if they hit her with an attack. And during their turn, they can try to escape the ooze with a DC. They can try to escape the ooze. I like that. And that'll make that a reaction. And make sure I have that copied just in case. Ah. It was loading. Kind of want to put this at the top instead of the bottom. All right, so we got Lady Ophelia, and then we'll her stat block, and then we'll do Great Ooze 5e. This definitely is not going to be an easy dungeon for sure, but it's a neat one. And you don't have to do all of it. That's just for the a lot of parts of it are optional. Okay. There we go. Get rid of all of that now. Okay. So now we got this. And I'm going to rename this quest, to all right, so here we go. I think that is the twist, actually, that the slime. Yeah. And then I'd say everyone gets like 100 gold from this, or everyone gets 50 gold. Everyone gets 50 gold for that, I would say. All right, so finding the grate should be pretty easy, I think. I'm trying to think if I should make it difficult at all to find the dungeon. Probably not. I kind of want to get him stuck in. Well, DC. We'll see, DC 12. Okay, so okay, I think we kind of have it. Yep, so let's go through this. Maybe ChatGPT has some good pun. Slime and punishment is good. Oh, man. Actually, we're going to go with Slime and Punishment. That's incredible. Fits the themes, too. Fuck. This is why you gotta sometimes use ChatGPT. That's incredible. All right. I think we got it. I want to make sure this is on this page, if I can. There we go. Okay, Slime and Punishment. Level 3 quest, faction, the Halvarians. Half-orc lieutenant, she's commissioning them to do it. She specific asks. Bonus reward. Okay. Okay, I think 50 GP per character in verse feeding. Lady Ophelia. I always like to make fights with fights that are optional a little harder. So I don't mind Lady Viscoria being a pretty hard fight. And we'll just go through and bolt some stuff, make it all work out. There we go. Slime and frog and cranberries must be full. Okay, I think we did it. Thank you all so much for watching this stream. Slime and Punishment is the final thing, just to kind of go over what we made. The main quest is you're going to... This is a faction-based quest, so you're already kind of involved with the Halvarians. One of the lead Halvarians, Val Desrex, is a half-orc lieutenant. She tells you about her contacts. Overheard some guards speaking about a crack in the wall. She's not totally against the wall going down, but she wants her Halvarians to be in the loop, so she's going to commission the party to investigate. So the specific asks are to find out who put that crack in the wall. Bonus reward, defeat the person putting the crack in the wall if they seem dangerous. The mystery is who put the crack in the wall. The culprit is a slime lady. The slime lady, however, is the twist because she is Lady Ophelia Viscoria, who's a member of the Silver Council, which is like the ruling council in this area. But she's grown disillusioned with that faction. She's an alchemist who's been conducting experiments on the miasma. One of her experiments went awry and caused her to become a slime lady. This had the effect of revealing to her that a major aspect of the miasma is that instead of choking out, like is said, it created new life within her. So she wants to break the barrier and let nature take its course on all within the walls. The guards were ordered to hunt the lady down and make sure that no one discovers what she was working on. The end is to stop the slime woman from breaking the wall, expanding the crack that she already made, and the reward is joining the Copper Guard as a recruit for the information, and 50 gold per character for defeating Lady Ophelia Viscoria. We've got the map here. Easy enough to find the grate. Once you get in, you get to go into one of these rooms. Up here and here both funnel you into this room with the wasps. If you mess with the wasps, you get the frogs. That's just words to live by the way. If you mess with the frogs, you get the wasps. So in this room, you can try and push your luck and grab a +1 shield. If you do, the wasps attack you, and then that sound of the wasps bring frogs and toad into the sewers. Otherwise, if you don't, you can either go into that frog and toad room, or you can go into the guards room. However, if we roll back time, if you instead went this way and then went left, you could find yourself in a treasure room, an abandoned armory, with an animated armor, a flying sword, and a rug of smothering that attack you if you try to loot them. However, you don't get just completely messed up if you just get messed, or if you mess with this fight, because you do get a spell scroll of control water, a 4th level spell, which will be incredibly useful at any point throughout this dungeon because it's filled with water. Doesn't mean you can always pull it off, but a level 3 character has a decent chance of actually being able to cast that spell. The next room is you're walking into the guards that are trying to hunt down Lady Viscoria. One of them is hung in a gelatinous cube, and they're all going to fight you at the same time. So that's going to be a cluster of a fight, and I think it'd be really funny. The final room is Lady Viscoria, where she will actually be willing to talk to you for a little bit, and if you manage to find out more about her scientific nature, she will, and you use that to appeal to her, she will decide to stand down, and you have a better chance of that if you appeal. Otherwise, she will attack you, and she's got 2 great uses hiding, and he made a custom stat block for her. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I was just going to quickly, I think that's fine. I think she's trying to bring... All right, so she's starting on hostile, but went back to town for the goal without convincing fight. And we'll fight if it comes to it. Okay, I like that. I think we have done it. We're gonna change the name to Slime and Punishment. I'm gonna download that and I will upload it. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching the stream, Slime and Punishment. And it was a lot of fun. I hope you had a good time. Thank you all so much for watching the stream. I might edit this down into a bit of a YouTube video so people can have a better idea of how I write a one-shot. Thank you. Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Jess. I'll see you guys later. Jess will see you downstairs. All right. Bye, everybody.